Hope to provide you information and answer any questions about the arrest of 24-year-old Spencer Spidell of Lincoln for 2 counts of unlawful possession of an explosive material, all stemming from an investigation on Wednesday. I have with me today County Attorney Pat Condon and the criminal captain Ben Miller. So on Wednesday, January 25th, 2023, approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, an officer made a traffic stop in the area of Northwest 7th and West Cornhusker Highway for a traffic violation. Upon contact, they contacted 23-year-old Dominic Hosper of Lincoln. During that contact, they discovered evidence of drug possession, drug paraphernalia, which resulted in a search of the vehicle and the arrest of Hosper for 2 counts of possession of controlled substance and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. During that search, pursuant to the discovery of narcotics, officers discovered suspicious items located in the vehicle believed to be explosive devices. The officers backed off, called Lincoln Fire and Rescue Bomb Squad, and who responded. They confirmed the hazardous nature of the devices, the viability of the devices, and rendered them safe at the scene. Ongoing investigation of that incident took the officers to the registered owner of the vehicle, or the owner of the vehicle home, which is in proximity to the traffic stop itself. A search warrant there was served and additional items were located. That's the residence of Spencer Spidell. Additional items were located there. These items were also safely removed. The multiplex was evacuated for the safety of others. The items were removed. No injuries were reported from either location. The investigation is ongoing. Our investigators are working with state and federal partners to determine the circumstances surrounding the explosive devices or if any other individuals are involved. And with that, anything, Pat, from the prosecutor's side?
We will be charging Mr. Spencer this afternoon with, with possession of a destructive device, class 4 felony, 0 to 2 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine for both, and then we'll also be requesting a bond in this matter. So.
How many explosive devices did you find?
In various states of development, we found 3 in the vehicle and additional devices at home, and I believe that's at least 2. And then other items that would suggest various states of construction or development.
Can you describe what these explosive devices look like?
There's 2 from the vehicle itself.
Okay.
We're going to limit it to photographs of these 2 devices. The officers were doing a search again of the vehicle for drug-related materials, so found these items taped up, which, if you can see the exterior, they're wrapped in some type of adhesive tape. They began attempting to open them and then discovered powder and other items that caused them concern. The officer who made the stop is familiar based on his background with the military of IEDs, which caused him to pause and the officers to back out and call Lincoln Fire and Rescue.
And do you have any idea, I guess, what the intent behind the possession and manufacturing of these was?
That's part of the ongoing investigation. That is also why we have our state and federal partners involved, just to make sure. I would tell you, we have no indication of any domestic extremism, but again, a legal act and certainly of concern based on the nature of the violations.
And I guess Mr. Fosberg, was he ruled out as any kind of, I guess, party to the creation of these devices? I mean, you guys haven't arrested him on any explosive possession charges?
That is correct. Ruled out is not a term I would use. Not currently arrested would be the status of Mr. Fosberg. He's driving a car owned by another individual in proximity to that home, and based on the facts of the stop, he's not been ruled out in the future for that potential.
did the 23-year-old know that there were homemade explosive devices in the car?
Part of the investigation, I would tell you, he was not initially arrested based on his admissions that he had no knowledge of their presence.
And does he live in the same apartment as Spencer Spidell?
My understanding, go ahead.
And he was staying there.
Okay,
I don't know if we'd call that his permanent address, but
Uh-huh.
he was staying there at the time.
okay.
And has your investigation led you to anyone else? I mean, is this, I guess, is it thought to just be focused on these two, or have you encountered more people who have had contact with them?
The investigation has expanded to a point of other locations, if you want to
Yeah,
touch on this.
we've talked to numerous individuals in connection with this investigation, and we've made contact at different locations, but nothing really that's caused any concern at this point.
Do we know anything about like the potency of these explosive devices, like the likelihood that, I don't know how to articulate it the right way, but just, I guess the potency is the best way to explain it, and how the magnitude that they could have been. I mean, I know it's hard for you to talk about what ifs, but,
Yeah, so our primary focus when we encounter these devices is to make it safe for the community, for the officers. And so once that's done, all of that testing gets done on the back end. So that will be done with the help of laboratories and that kind of thing at a later date. So
when we talk about like, those are they federal investigators or like ATF or anything like that?
yeah, so we engaged pretty early on in this effort. We engaged ATF and the FBI just to have open channels of communication with them and to bring them involved. So they were here with us assisting, and then we will, along with them and as well as the fire department, figure out what the best plan of action is to get testing done and everything like that. So yeah.
Do we know how long they were, I mean, obviously this is very early on, but like, do we know how long Spencer Spidell maybe had been building or collecting or making these homemade explosives?
That's something we're looking into still, and I don't know that we have an answer for that right now, but it's something we're looking into.
And was he on your radar at all? I mean, was this really a random traffic stop, or was this part of an ongoing investigation?
I would describe this as very good work from our officers overnight who patrol blocks of business areas against burglaries, graffiti, other crimes. Saw this individual at a area convenience store, saw him act in a suspicious manner, stopped the convenience store to make sure the clerk was okay, but then also observed this vehicle immediately in violation of the traffic code. Basically had no license plates or transit papers. And the vehicle drove off the lot, the officer made contact, and the investigation, the officers cleared observations from in the vehicle that led to the arrest and search for the drugs, led us to the explosive devices. But good work by that officer.
Will you be emailing us these pictures by chance?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, you'll get those in the regular email.
okay.
Any other questions? Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.